Greetings of the day to all of you joining us from different part of the world. Good evening, Manmohan. Good evening, Amit. We have Khaja, MIB Sports. Good evening to all of you. I hope you are having a fabulous and a fantastic weekend so far. Okay, Khaja says good evening. Good evening, everybody. Webber, good evening. I hope you are doing really well. Yes. Oh, I'm doing really good too. Thank you so much for asking. Are we all excited for today's live? Okay. Good evening, both of you. Khaja started, hit the books. Okay, we are all in full medium of enjoying our today's session, which is idioms. And I think our audience just love talking about idioms. Yeah, we are really excited. Okay, great. Neeram, hello. Hi, Nalini. Good evening, Jyoti Yadav. Very good evening to all of you. So, now that you all know, we are again here back to have a discussion on another interesting and important topic, which is idioms for daily life. We all are cognizant with the fact how important idioms are in our day to life. So, today, we guarantee you'll have a lot of takeaways from the session and you would enjoy for sure. Today we have along with me one of our experienced trainer who's known for his exceptional teaching methodologies, none other than Mr. Pritam Pradhan. Good evening, Mr. Pritam.
Good evening, Shruti. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I'm really looking forward to the discussion. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
For sure,
Mhm.
we are going to have a lot of learnings today, and we can guarantee you that if you are just active here, by the end of the session, you will have a sense of accomplishment because we are going to learn so many things yet too in fun and interactive manner. Before we jump over to our today's discussion here, my dear learners, we have an important announcement. Yes, I can see a lot of highs there. Hello, everybody. Nalini says we are all ears. Yes, very good, Nalini. Cool. Just Preet says Mr. Preetham is the best. What do you have to say about it?
I'm really glad.
Hmm.
Okay, Jaspreet, yeah.
Yeah, all
She
right.
happens to be one of my regular learners. So, yeah, hi,
Oh,
Jaspreet. Good
yeah,
evening. Thank you so much for your kind words.
for sure. Yeah, as I told you that we have some of the important announcements. So all of you, just be all ears to me. We
Uh-huh.
want you to just focus on what actually you are facing problems in. Our motive is to address all your doubts that you may have and help you improve your spoken English. That's why we come live every Sunday. So, without any fear or insecurity, you can ask your doubts related to English in the chat section and we'll try to answer it, right, Mr. Preetham?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah.
right. See, as I said, this today we have something which is really interesting. So by the end of this life, we can guarantee you that you'll be able to master at least 30 idioms, which you can use in your daily conversation. I remember last time when we came with idioms, one common question I received from people is how can we incorporate them in our conversation and what other idioms I should know in order to sound eloquent. So you'll get answers to all those questions, right? So, to get this live started, we want you to like the session and subscribe to English Yaari's YouTube channel so that you never miss any update because we keep on coming up with different ideas and different topics. Prashant says, what's the topic of today's discussion? Prashant, we are going to talk about the common idioms that people must use in their day to day life. Okay. So consider sharing it with your friends and family and let's make it a successful session together. I can see them responding, hi, good evening. Nalini says, I'm ready with pen and book. Perfect. If you're ready with pen and paper, I want you to jot down because we are going to have a lot of fun activities. And along with the motivation of becoming the winner of today's session, we want you all to head start with today's session. So, Mr. Preetham, I'm going to be a medium. All the questions that our learners may have, I'll be asking you one after the other, and we hope you'll be able to give them
Yeah,
fruitful of
certainly.
answers. Are we
Uh-huh.
ready for it?
Yeah, we can hit the ground running.
Okay, all right. Perfect. So now, my first question to you is I want to know from you how can understanding and using idioms can benefit us in our daily life? As our topic suggests, daily idioms, how can they
Mhm.
benefit?
Well, everybody wants to learn idioms, and they want to incorporate these kind of idiomatic expressions into their day-to-day conversation. And I'm also particularly fond of idioms because I get to precisely express my ideas, my feelings, and opinions. I also feel that idioms will add a lot more finesse and flavor to your sentence. It adds a little bit of sophistication. It's what I feel. For example, I can accurately convey my thoughts. For an example could be when I crack an interview or an exam, I can say I'm feeling very happy about it. But I can also make a use of an idiom by saying that I feel like I'm on top of the world because that I cracked an interview or I cracked one of the most toughest exams. Because idioms is helping me convey that idea with a lot more emotions. I'm also highlighting my accomplishment. I'm not just saying that I'm happy, but I'm really proud of my accomplishment by saying I'm on top of the world, or I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world. So I
For
think yeah, these are very important, and obviously it will help you to stand out. It will help you to understand movies, because obviously native speakers, they use a lot of idioms, and
sure.
there are a lot of English content out there, and sometimes we are dumbfounded, we are puzzled because we don't understand how native speakers speak. So yeah, when you're listening to podcasts, when you're reading books, when you are watching videos of native speakers, it is very much important as English learners to not only incorporate this but also understand the meaning behind these idioms. So
Mhm.
yeah, it becomes really important for everyone who is looking forward to advance their communication skills.
Mhm. Oh, I
Yeah.
truly understand that. And I think Rohini says that idioms is my favorite topic. I think idioms are fun ways, as you said, can help you beautify your sentences. Same goes with Khaja. He says, beautifies the sentences. Very good. Perfect. So we have Nalini saying, whenever we want to explain about some situations, idioms work better than vocabulary by making other person understand. Do you agree with it?
Yeah, definitely it is. And in a way, I can see that you are using idioms not only to embellish your language but also to properly communicate your thoughts. Like I gave you that example earlier. So you can be very accurate with your ideas, with your thoughts, with your opinions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ruini has a question. She says using idiom is very hard when I speak in genuine conversation. So I think today's session is just for her because this is a common feeling. Whenever we are expressing ourselves, it happens. We want to use idioms, but idioms never come naturally to you, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that we shouldn't force idioms. If it is coming natural to you, then you may as well use it. But we shouldn't force. Otherwise, it will become very trite and unoriginal. Because a lot of people use this overused idioms, very common idioms, which is apparently our topic later on. We are going to discuss some common overused idioms, isn't it?
Yes, I was about to ask this question to you that, what are some of the essential idioms that everyone must know for their effective communication? Some go-to idioms. Can you list some?
Yeah, I have a couple of them. First one would be to break a leg. What do you understand by that? I think everybody over here in the comment and our audience is able to make out what this idiom stand for.
Let's do one thing as you are sharing the list of the idioms which are go-to idioms and everyone should have. Meanwhile, I want our learners to guess the meaning. In case you don't know, it's okay. Write down, please explain, and we'll be continuing all those things with explanation as well. What do you say?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we can do that as well. So the first we have is yeah, uh, we can cover this idioms. There are a couple of them. Precisely, we can cover 5 idioms for this topic. So what I commonly use is to break a leg, and it means
Okay.
to wish somebody luck. If they are preparing for a job interview, if they are appearing for an exam, then we can just say break a leg,
Yes. Hey,
right?
Mashli Tutor Neha says this right. She says to wish good luck. Yes, she's right. First
Yes.
one is break a leg. Okay, what next?
I also have this idiom. I use it often, and that is to bite the bullet.
Okay,
Bite the
all right.
bullet. Yeah, it has an origin where it comes from uh, earlier days when armies used to get injured, they used to bite the bullet so that when they would undergo some treatment, it would be very difficult for them because there was no anesthesia back then. So they, in order to just divert their focus and attention, they would just bite the bullet. But now we can use in some other context. For example, if you don't like visiting the doctor and you have your appointment scheduled and you don't want to
Mhm.
go it, but you have to go it. It is must that you go and discuss and get the counseling.
Mhm.
So if you don't want to go, then definitely I can encourage you by saying, okay, you have to bite the bullet. You have to do what. Basically, we are here to face some unpleasant situation. When you don't
Mhm.
want to do it, yeah, it's better to bite the bullet.
Yeah, our learners are also
Uh-huh.
writing some of the idioms that everyone must know. I think Seema Sharma says idioms using icing on the cake. Then
Uh-huh.
Itpali Padma, if I'm saying it right, says under the weather. And I think some of
Mm,
the
yeah.
common idioms which I have heard over is cost an arm and a leg, or maybe spill the beans, or
Hmm.
jump on the bandwagon. What else? Some of the idioms that people should use.
No brainer is something that I have in my mind. When something is a no brainer, what do you think it means? It means that it's a very easy decision that you don't even
Yeah,
have to
there's
use
no
a
rocket science. It can just be done. Yes, for
uh-huh,
sure.
uh-huh. Yeah.
So I want our audience to guess what does jump on the bandwagon means. Let's see if they're aware of or not. So here is our first question to all of you. Show some energy and excitement in the session, and let's see if you get it right. Okay, we are getting a lot of response. Yeah. See, in order to understand what we have asked, the question is also pinned up on the chat section. Okay.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
learn English with Rakesh says arm and a leg means expensive. Is he right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. But sometimes I
Yeah.
feel that this idiom is overused. Everybody's saying cost me an arm and a leg every time. We have to make
Mhm.
sure that we have other alternatives to the same idiom as well. And like I said already earlier, we shouldn't force it. If you have a simple phrase as well, then you can may as well use it in your conversation and interaction.
Hmm. Jyoti
Yeah.
Yadav says jump on the conclusion. I think she's telling about jump on the bandwagon. Okay, think once
Mhm.
again. The question is jump on the bandwagon. It's quite used, and I would say daily way idiom. Think of what it can mean, and any guesses would be there. Okay, learning process says jump between the conversation. Okay.
That may not be entirely accurate.
Let's see.
Mhm.
We'll not reveal the exact answer right now. Let's wait to
Okay.
see if they are able to guess, if they're able to predict the actual meaning,
Oh,
or they're
yes. I
near
think
the answer.
Nalini came up with the right example.
Aha. Yes, Nalini says everybody jumped on the bandwagon when TikTok was introduced. Okay, she gave a
Mhm.
right example. Good job, Nalini. Let's see if someone can predict the meaning as well. Learn English with Rakesh says spill the beans mean to reveal something.
Mhm.
Okay, jump the bandwagon mean copying. We have a lot
Means
of
to
answers in the chat box. Okay, Mr.
okay.
Preetham, what do you feel jump on the bandwagon means
It
actually?
needs to hop onto a popular trend. Like Nalini said, that everybody started making TikTok reels. Everybody
Hmm.
started to get on the popular trend and without even thinking too much, right? So these days on Instagram, we see a lot of reels made on the same content. So everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yes,
would be a
exactly.
precise meaning example. Yeah.
Yes. So far we have covered some of the idioms. Let's have a quick recap, dear audience. We understood that common when we talk about the essential idiom. So you must know what break a leg means. Break a leg means you're wishing someone good luck. Then we discuss bite the bullet. Cost an arm and a leg means really expensive.
Uh-huh.
Then we also discuss spill the beans. Jump on the bandwagon means you're jumping on a
Mhm.
trend. Let's suppose it happens on Instagram, especially there's any video which goes viral. So everyone start making remix or start making their own reels on the same music. So that's what jump on the bandwagon means. Not just any content, but also fashion. Let's suppose all in the market people are enjoying denim jeans. So for sure you can say, okay, I just
Uh,
hit, jump the bandwagon and purchased one for me as well. Right?
yeah, it can be anything. Like the speech says over here to join a popular activity. It can be anything almost. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Promote says the same. Join to an activity or work. Yes, you are somewhat right, but I hope by now you know it.
All
Okay.
right.
How about now that these are the common idioms which everyone is aware of?
Mhm.
You are English Yaari learners, so you have to stand out differently. So here are two idioms that first of all we want you to guess, and then we will explain. How about that, Mr. Preetham? Shall we
Yeah,
introduce
okay.
something to them?
Yeah, we can go ahead with it.
Okay. I want you to
Mhm.
give them any idiom and let's see if they are able to predict the meaning. Any
All right.
idiom.
So I have my favorite that talks about a particular emotion, but I want you to guess the learners to guess what emotion I'm talking about.
Okay.
When somebody has a spring in their steps, what does it exactly mean?
Okay. Once more,
Mhm.
can you repeat it for our learners?
When someone has a spring in their steps, how he or she is feeling. How are they feeling? For example, if I have a spring on my steps, so how am I feeling? What does it exactly
Mhm.
mean? Yeah.
Okay. Just think of Khaja says, Shruti ma'am, I'm from Qatar. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for joining us. We have people from different part of the world, and I think this brings us immense joy to see their dedication towards learning English, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Rohini says, I think sensation. Okay. Once again, the idiom that we want you all to guess because we have to learn something in the session, but with fun and excitement. And I'm sure these idioms would just remain in your brain for a really long time. So we want you to guess the idiom, which is to have spring in the steps. Kaja says, I'm weak at using idioms. It's okay. By the end, you'll be pro at using idioms. Manmohan has guessed it. I want you to check. He says surprise. Is
Okay,
it right?
this is a surprise. Well, I think I should give a context first before expecting some answers. So, for example,
Hmm.
if I receive an appointment letter, okay, and I'd been desperately waiting for that, I was trying really hard for that particular job, and I get
Hmm.
it. I'm super happy, isn't it? So I have this spring in my step wherever I'm going, wherever I'm walking around.
Okay.
I have this spring in my
I
steps,
think
right?
this worked. People are ready with their answers in the chat box.
Mhm.
Weber says to get something very soon. Okay. Khaja is saying feeling extremely happy. Sachin says happiness and joy. Mahesh says confident and happiness. Rudra says to have a great excitement at every step. I
Uh-huh,
learned
yeah.
with English. Learn English with Rakesh says move quickly. Okay, they are just actually translating all the words. Maybe learn English
Uh-huh.
with Rakesh again. He has a question. Ranjana says feeling happy and confident. Now it's time for us to actually address what does spring in the steps means.
Mhm.
Over to you.
So, yeah, well, knowing the meaning is very easy, but the challenging part is to come up with an example sentence. We all know a lot of idioms, but we fail to use it in our interaction, in our conversation. So let's
Mhm.
see if some of our learners can come up with a relevant example.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
They all are saying very happy. Okay, let me give you a context. See, sometimes you just have to remember a scenario. I remember when
Mhm.
I used to have this habit, I wanted to use a lot of idioms in my speech but couldn't use. So I tried, and I think this was one of the advice I got from my teachers. So she said that understand through a context and you'll always remember it. So now
Mhm.
the question which was given to you was to have springs in the steps. Okay, tell me, dear audience. Let's suppose you get a call one day from one of your favorite relatives that hey, we are visiting you tomorrow. So what would you do? Of course, you'll be happy, or maybe you'll do all the work quickly and in full mood that okay, let me do the preparation, let me cook this, order this or that. All those things would be done. Now, guess what does this idiom mean? I think it would be easy now.
Yeah, it should be
Oh,
easy. I want you to
we
imagine
have
a
a
little.
sentence
Yeah,
from
sorry.
Rahul. We have a sentence from Rahul. He says, I know the project
Okay.
is daunting, but I try to put a spring in my step and get it work.
Well, this may not be entirely accurate. Why? Because when you have a spring in your step, you are cheerful about something. You are not nervous about a daunting project. You are very
Mhm.
cheerful. Imagine that you get a good news. Maybe your crush smiles at you, or maybe you get that job appointment letter. So you are very cheerful in your demeanor. So you have this
Mm.
spring in your steps, right? Now this is, I understand, it's a challenging idiom, but if we
Now
can
I want
incorporate
you, no more suspense. Please address this. Otherwise, they are going to shout at us. Why are you not expressing? Why are you beating around the bush? Let's
it
get it
means
right.
just to be happy. It just means to be happy, right? You're
Yeah.
happy everywhere you are going. You're
Mm,
cheerful. You're
so
smiling. Yeah.
yes, after this live session, I want you to remember this idiom forever. To have spring in the steps is all about when you're really happy about something.
Uh-huh.
Here comes mine. I am going to give them little easy. Let's see if they're going to guess it right. Okay. What
Yeah.
does cost a fortune means? Okay. There's an idiom, cost a
Mhm.
fortune. We all know we have used some of the idioms, bite a bullet, break a leg. There's so many others. But you should always look forward to new idioms. As today we all learned to have springs in the steps. So next time, whenever you hear about anything from English Yaari, of course you're going to have springs in your step. And the second idiom that I want you to guess is cost a fortune. Right? Let's see if you're able to address it.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, Nalini says expensive.
Ah.
Okay. Let's wait for other answers as well. Meanwhile, I want to know from you, Mr. Preetham, as they are writing down the answers, how do you
Mhm.
remember idioms? How do you feel that, okay, I will be using this idiom every now and then?
Well, my favorite way of learning and incorporating idioms or phrases or vocabulary, anything of that sort, would be to write down and really imagine a context. I would personally put myself, and not just in the third person perspective. I would really imagine if I underwent certain kind of emotions, and I would just make a sentence out of it. And I would do that multiple times, because if you just do it once, then that may not stay with you for as long as possible. And immediately, I'll make use of that idiom with my, if I'm having a conversation with any of my learners or with my friend, or even I can speak to myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, I truly go by it. Now we have a lot of answers in the chat box. Nalini says expensive. Sachin has an answer. He says very essential. Something more expensive than expected. Manmohan says, Vaibhav Trivedi says achievement. Okay, cost of fortune is achievement. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, then we have Put Things at a Stake by Khaja. Learn English with Rakesh says expensive. Rajkumar is saying hard work is only way. Lucky. Okay, people are a bit confused. There's some
Uh,
are saying lucky, some are saying achievement, or a small chunk also says expensive. What do you have to say? What does
so
actually this
what
idiom
it is
mean?
that idioms are always figurative in nature. So that's why we should not go word by word. They don't have any literal terms. So that's why we always should understand what exactly the meaning is trying to convey. So cost of fortune means something that is very expensive. Like some of our learners have already said, learn English with Rakesh said it's expensive. Something that is very expensive, we say, oh, it cost me a fortune. For example, if I
Hmm.
maybe buy a car and I want to maybe show off to my friend, then if they ask me, so how much did it set you back? You can say, oh, it cost me a fortune. Don't even ask, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly. And why did we tell you that use different idioms? Cost me an arm and a leg is also about expensive when you're expressing that it was really expensive. But this is overused. There's so many people who are using it. How about you using idioms but in different sense, which is easy to understand and easy to remember? So now I hope you have.
Jashpreet has come with a very good example. Education these days cost a fortune.
For sure. You're right, just breathe. Yes, very effective. Ranjana says
Um,
extremely pricey. Yes. Pramod
yeah.
says the same, expensive or something very important. Okay, I think they're
Mhm.
confusing it with important. It has nothing to do with importance. It's all about something which was really expensive and you were not expecting. It went off the charts. Okay. Now that you
All right.
introduced them with idioms related to emotions, how about you addressing
Mhm.
some of the common emotions and how can we use idioms in that sense? Some idioms related to
Okay.
emotions.
Emotions, where there can be many emotions, where you feel anger, where you feel happiness, sadness, nervousness,
Confused.
surprise,
Yes.
confused. Yeah, that matter. Okay, why don't we start off with this emotion, anger, which everybody has and everybody needs to address. Or if you are, for example, instead of saying very angry all the time, you can
Yes.
use idioms out there. Why don't we expect from our learners to come up with some idioms related to,
Mhm.
yeah.
We have to address the elephant in the room. We all get angry. We all feel blue. So here is a
Uh-huh.
question for Mr. Freedom to all of you. I just would like to rephrase. He's saying that as we have a lot of idioms and emotions in our day to day life, how can we express them through idioms? And one of the common emotions that we are now looking at is anger. So, in case you have any idiom which go well with aggression or anger as an emotion, let us know. Meanwhile, Sri Ram has given, okay, Sri Ram is the name of learner, says, tour to Europe cost me a fortune. I think they got the gist of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a
Okay.
100% accurate example. Yep. Hmm.
We have the answers ready. Manmohan says, blow a fuse. Is it right way to use when you are angry?
Well, yeah, that can be used as well. Yeah, definitely. But I would really ask Manmohan to come up with one example sentence so that it fits perfectly, right?
Okay, well, another level. Okay. The thing is, we all are emotional in our day to day life. These are some of the common idioms which we can use and sound better. As you all ask us, how can we be more natural? So just understand the context, use the idioms, and you will sound natural. All the idioms that we have told so far are not fancy, isn't it?
Not at all. Uh, why don't we share one idiom related to anger and let the learner guess?
Sure.
Mhm.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I have one: to lose someone's cool, to lose your cool, right?
Okay.
So it's pretty much
Yeah.
self-explanatory, but let's see if anyone can come up with a very good example.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they're
Yeah.
saying pissed off, okay, emotion, anger. Yes, exactly. We are dealing
Mhm.
with anger, how you can express it with idioms. One of the common idioms, and yet interesting idiom is you must know, as Mr. Pritam said, is to lose someone cool. Right. Can you give
Mhm.
them a sentence? And I think it would be easy for them to then guess it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. When my boss, okay, when I asked my boss to extend my leaves, then he completely lost his cool. So we have to understand the idiom. It should be properly used in the past as well. So it's better to be aware of the grammatical structure. So yeah, somebody just loses their temper. There are many different ways to say the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are getting a lot of answers. Naval says, I want a roll. Yeah, I want Royals roars, but it cost me a fortune. Rohini says, cost a fortune means we have to pay more money. Yes. Okay,
Mhm.
people are also giving some idioms related to anger. Fly
Yeah,
off the handle. He
yeah,
lost
it's one
his
of my favorite
mind.
idioms. So yeah, he lost his
Mhm.
mind. Definitely, yeah.
Yes. He lost
People
his
are pretty
cool.
much.
He
Yeah.
couldn't beat the game, Manmohan
Oh
says.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, that's a perfect example. I think many people are already aware of so many idioms related to anger, right? Furious. Uh huh. Yeah.
I want you to now tell them the actual meaning so that they have the clarity. And if there are some of the learners who are not able to guess, they can also learn it now.
Hmm. Well, it's pretty much simple. So when you lose your cool, you get really, really angry. Instead of saying very angry all the time, you can say, "Oh, he always loses his cool." Like over here, Viran Viranjan, I can't pronounce his name, but he says to fly off the handle. So the same idea can be conveyed with in different ways, with different idioms. To fly off the handle,
Vivek
to
said it right. He said he lost his temper. Absolutely, you all are giving right answers. So you can use it in different sentences. So whenever you feel someone is uh, having the habit of losing calm easily, so you can just say, "Oh, my boss lost his," you know. Whenever you are expressing, you can explain this, and it would be really beneficial for all of you.
yeah,
My boss lost his cool, or when someone lose the temper. Simple as that, isn't it?
perfect. Yeah.
So I think
We
so far we have covered two emotions, happiness
uh-huh.
and then anger. Am I right?
We can
So
also
to
go
all,
with surprise. Surprise is also an emotion, right?
okay.
So, what do you have in your mind, particularly when you think about when you're surprised and you want to express with the help of an idiom?
Well,
Mhm.
when it comes to surprise, I have seen people using common idioms, but one of the idioms which is quite essential and easy to catch is jaw dropping. You know, when
Mm.
you're really
Yeah.
surprised or you're not expecting something to happen in a certain way, then you say it was jaw dropping,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yes, people are now giving us a lot of response. Okay, dear learners, we have so far covered three emotions where we discuss for happiness, how can you express, right? You can express through having that, oh, I have springs in my steps. Later on,
Mhm.
we jumped over to cost of fortune, which simply means really expensive. If anyone is taking out notes, write down all these pointers because as they're go-to idioms. Then we went over to anger. That means when you lose one's cool, means you lose your temper. One more idiom from
Mhm.
your end, Mr. Pritam. What would you like to give to our learners?
Related to surprise or any
Anger.
other emotion? Anger, okay. What I particularly use when I want to address my anger or someone else's anger is to hit the ceiling by the. You can also use hit the roof. It can be used in either ways, to hit the roof or to hit the ceiling,
I
right?
think when we were kids that time, we have seen a lot of cartoons where, let's suppose, person is angry, so they would just jump over and they would hit the roof.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, could be, yes. That's one
So you can
analogy that we
remember this way. That's how I learned. Fun and exciting
can.
way. Let's suppose someone is really angry and irate. So you can just say, okay, he just hit the roof. Means
Oh
his
yeah,
anger was on the topmost level where you couldn't take it anymore.
yeah,
Right.
yes.
Okay. I have a request to all of you. Okay, Muskan says hit the ceiling.
Mhm.
Why we actually come live every Sunday is to address your doubts or your queries that you may have. So whenever there's anything that you're not able to find answer of, we are here live for you. Ask questions and we'll try to address it. Meanwhile, I would also like to give you a short announcement. Of course, as every time we give you free sessions, this time as well, whosoever will show extra activity and would be able to answer our questions will get a chance to win free session. Along with that, here is a small surprise for all our working professionals. I know you
Mhm.
might be wondering that, oh, I cannot use idioms in my daily life. So, by the end of the session, we'll also be sharing some of the idioms which are going to be just for our business professionals. What do you have to say, Mr. Preetham?
Yeah, definitely. And especially for working professionals, if they have to be in interaction with foreign nationals, it becomes pertinent for them to understand idioms, not only use it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had several of my learners who work with international clients, and they make use of certain idiomatic expressions as native speakers use it all the time, and they are always dumbfounded. They are always bewildered by, okay, what does it mean, and they have to look up the meanings on Google. Well, you might not want to be in that kind of situation, so therefore it's better to be aware of some idiomatic expressions and
Mm-hmm.
some colloquial terms.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
so
People
definitely we'll be
are
talking.
right up there. As we ask them a question, what do you mean by jaw dropping? They say, when I got
um,
promotion, I was jaw dropping. Is that a right sentence? I was jaw dropping? How to use in a
uh,
right context? If you could address
it
this
may
as
not.
well.
Yeah, okay. So imagine first, like Shruti said already, you have to imagine a scenario, a situation that where you found yourself that you were extremely surprised. In that case, you can say, okay, that my my jaw dropped when I saw something. It could be anything. For example, maybe somebody gave a thrilling presentation, and you didn't expect him to perform that well. Then it was a jaw dropping performance. You can say that it really surprised you. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes it happen out of the blue. Anyone just compliments you, and then you're like, okay, all right. It was a jaw-dropping thing. We were not expecting it out. Maybe it's your birthday, and your friends just throw a party on your behalf. Again, these are some of the jaw-dropping instances where you were not sure about it, and you were not ready with it in your brain, and it just happened, right? And I
Okay,
think
I think
Muskan
we
has
don't.
a really
Yeah.
good one. She just said that if I won't win a free session, then I
Mhm.
may hit the ceiling.
Okay, all right.
So it's like,
Uh,
beware, you have to give one session to Muskan.
uh,
Yes.
Viren says that okay, he was saying something that okay, I think the chat has passed, but he was saying that if we use idioms and the other person is not able to understand, is it a good thing? Well, in that case, you have to really be sure on what kind of audience you are addressing or you are having this interaction with. You have to be
Yes.
sure, and by understanding the situation, by understanding their temperament, you should be able to use some expressions and idioms. And I don't want you to just go on uh, just embellishing your language for the sake of projecting yourself as an advanced speaker. So the
Yes.
whole idea is to communicate effectively. Yeah.
In addition to what you said, I would also like to say one thing to Viren, that whatsoever idioms we are sharing with you currently, Viren, these are easy to understand for everybody. So the moment you will be using that in the context, no one will have trouble in understanding. See, jaw dropping, it's self explanatory, right? Cost of fortune, again. When you'll be explaining with the context, it would be easy for other person to understand, and you don't have to go with, you don't have to act pricey, or you don't have to go with fancy idioms. That is what Mr. Preetham and I are going to tell you, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
We always tell new idioms or that you should use this idiom, that idiom. I want to ask you something different and let's see how you answer it. Mr. Preetham, what are some of the commonly overused idioms that our learners must avoid?
okay, one comes to my mind is a lot of people. I hear them saying that once in a blue moon, once in a blue moon, all the time. If they want to say rarely, right? So
Yes.
it is very overused. If they can come up with some alternatives to this idiom, then yeah, they'd be doing themselves a huge favor. Because some of these idioms they come out as cliched, a very trite.
Mm-hmm.
It may lose its original significance. So that's why people have to be very careful using idiom and
Okay.
choosing
I'm just repeating one more
inappropriate.
time what question I asked Mr. Preetham. I just said, or I asked what kind of idioms people must avoid. So he's giving us list of commonly overused idioms. And meanwhile, in case you use these idioms, whatsoever Mr. Preetham is saying, you can let us know in the chat section. Yes, please continue.
Okay, like I said, over the moon. Sorry, once in a blue moon is pretty common and overused.
Okay. Can you also explain the
Right?
meaning one after the other so that in case learners are hearing it for the first time, they still have the clarity on it?
Okay, all right. So when you want to say something that happens very rarely, then we use this idiom once in a blue moon. I think everybody understands this, but I feel that it's been excessively used these days, especially by beginner level students, right? So we
Yes.
might want to come up with some alternative. Okay, Charlene also says that it would be my cup of tea. This is another very commonly used idiom. I feel it's not my cup of tea.
Yes, a cup
Right?
of tea. I asked them what are common idioms that people overuse. Yes, of course. Okay, this cup of tea, piece of cake, raining cats and dogs. What else can you think of?
Oh yeah, raining cats and dogs. That's yeah, that's another one. I never use raining cats and dogs, and I also encourage. I would encourage my learners to not use them. There are so many other phrases, and like I said, the whole motive behind learning idioms is to convey your thoughts accurately. It's not forcing idioms into your conversation. Just thinking about standing
Yes.
right.
Mossify says hanging over a thread. So, okay, this is a question for our today's community poll. Dear learners, if you haven't subscribed English Yari, what we actually do is every day in our community, we share one poll with you where we ask you a question and you get to answer them. So, in today's poll, Mr. Preetham, we gave them one question that you have to guess what actually hanging by a thread means. And I think this is also one of the idioms that our audience must know. So in case you don't know, when you are in trouble or when you are in a situation where which is risky, so you
Uh-huh.
say hanging by a thread. Just a piece of thread. Anything can
Yeah,
happen. Can be in a
yeah,
troublesome situation. So that's when you use hanging by one string. Mhm.
yeah. So it can be in a very precarious situation that you're hanging by a thread. Or
Mhm.
I have a similar idiom for that. You can also say walking on thin ice in a
Uh,
very precarious situation. Yeah.
Yes, of course. We were
Mhm.
discussing of idioms, and as I said, these idioms should not be used by our learners. Why did I say that? I say it because I think you should use those idioms which are easy to understand, which actually help you elevate your language. Otherwise,
Mhm.
learners feel only these idioms are just for them, and if they go by it, they are ready with idioms. So I think they should come out of their, you know, a shell or cocoon and understand there are
Mhm.
many other idioms. Raining cats and dogs is something which I've heard endlessly from our learners. So can you give me any
Mhm.
alternative? What else can I say if it's raining heavily?
Um, well, I can say it's pouring down. It's
Hmm.
bucketing down. Yeah. So these are one of my go-to, two of my go-to expressions if I want to say that it's raining heavily. Or I can also say we are having incessant rainfall. Incessant is a very good vocabulary term, right?
Uh,
So you may not have to use idioms all the time. So this is the beauty
mhm.
of language. Yeah.
Yeah. Every cloud has a silver lining is my favorite idiom, Nalini says. So, to our audience, every cloud has silver lining is really one of the affirmative sentence to every negative. There's something positive attached to. So, look by it. As you have joined here at English Yaari, you're giving at least 1 hour here. So, see, you have something to take away. After the session, you'll not say, I don't know idioms. You're for sure going to take at least 30 idioms home. Right, Mr. Preetham?
Mhm. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So there
And
are a lot of idioms. Rahatuoi. Okay, he says that
yeah,
once in a blue moon is an expression that has been used for a long time, which means
yes.
not very often. Yes, absolutely, is spot on. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yes. Now is a time where we give a surprise to our working professionals as well. I remember even in
Mhm.
our last time when we had a discussion on idioms, people had a concern that, ma'am, I am a working professional and I know I cannot use idioms and phrases in my meetings. What if I sound, I don't sound eloquent, or people make fun of me that, hey, what is he trying to say, or what is she saying? The medium is not correct, or the usage is not perfect. So, what do you have to say? Can we use idioms and phrases in our business meetings?
Definitely, there are a lot of business-related idioms, and people use it all the time. And it's why people stay away from business idioms or business jargons. They are notoriously overused. And some people also say that it's not mandatory, but for some reason in corporate culture, you can find a lot of idiomatic expressions. One
Mm-hmm.
example I have is to, for example, to go the extra mile, which means let's ask our learners, what does it mean? Why don't we? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think they would be able to. We have smart audience. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what we understood so far is when it comes to idioms, just choose some of the idioms which are apt for the situation and you can use that. Overusing idioms is not something which we would recommend you for your business English. So dear working
Mhm.
professionals, we are going to give you at least 5 or 6 idioms by the end of the session, which you can use every day in your meetings with your boss, your clients, with anyone and sound amazingly well, right?
Mhm. 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 Yeah.
People have
Yeah.
a lot. Okay. Hmm. They are giving a lot of ideas to us. So Shalini says, ma'am, what is the meaning of born with silver spoon in his mouth? Would you like to take it?
Yeah, definitely. Somebody who's born in an affluent family, who's very rich, and they have all the privileges that they need and require to be born in a
Mm-hmm.
to be born
Yes.
in a, with a silver spoon. Yeah.
Yeah, someone who's privileged, someone who, let's suppose you are born in a celebrity's home. Now you have a
Mhm.
privilege, people would know you for sure. So you're born with silver spoon means you were not, you don't have challenges. You had a privilege or you had an extra of work. Okay. Then to go an extra mile means make an extra effort. So people are answering to the question you've asked.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, Khaja
So
says to take little further steps. Nalini
to
has
take
given us a sentence. I had to go an extra mile to finish that project. Are they going right?
Nalin, yeah, Nalin is doing a tremendous job over here, coming up with relevant examples, meanings, and whatnot. Yeah,
Hmm.
so she's absolutely correct with her example.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's suppose you are a boss and you are a team leader. You want your organization, you want all the colleagues to work a lot and to give the best. So you can say that I think it's an important project. We must walk extra miles and make it happen. You do
Mhm.
something extra. You put an extra effort from your end. What do you have to add on to this, Mr. Preetham?
So, well, you've perfectly summarized everything. So, to put in some extra efforts to when you know that everybody has to be on board and work relentlessly, then yeah, you go the extra mile. And learning English as well. Uh, uh, if you're just a learner who likes to take sessions and maybe watch a lot of movies, but if you're not taking that extra mile, then it will take you a long, long time to
Hmm.
improve your English. So you can focus on all the other aspects like reading, writing, listening, speaking, and definitely you have to go the extra mile to see some improvements in your language. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, you all are giving right answers. Learn English with Rakesh says, I had to go an extra mile to learn English. Khaja says,
Um,
gearing up. Manmohan is saying that we go an extra mile, especially look after elderly customers. Okay. We have a question. Okay, Shai, as we were discussing, cloud has a silver, every cloud has silver lining. He has a question he didn't understand. Would you please
mhm.
address it once again for our audience? What does every cloud has silver lining mean?
Well, in a nutshell, it just means to be optimistic about a situation, to be very positive and have this
Hmm.
uh, positive perspective towards everything. Even though you are uh, in a bad situation, you think that, oh, okay,
Hmm.
nothing is going in your favor. But yeah, every cloud has its silver lining. That means there's a sun behind this dark cloud. So yeah, something is better on the other side. So yeah, that would be
Yes.
the perfect meaning of to say that every cloud has a silver lining. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sarthak has a question, Shruti ma'am. I am a working professional. How can EnglishYaari teach business English? Okay, all right. We need to understand. Sometimes they take a real stress that okay, business English means a really big thing, and it's difficult to achieve. However, business English is super easy. You just need to understand the way of framing sentences, how to be more polite. How can I use good model words? How can I express my ideas and my thoughts clearly through words? So it's all about business English. And coming on to English Yari, we try to tailor all our sessions according to learners' need. Mr. Pritam is right up with us. I want to know from you, Mr. Pritam, when it comes to your session, how do you tailor your session according to learners' need? If let's suppose I'm a learner and I want to improve my business English, what would be your take as a tutor? What would you do to make me eloquent?
Well, every learner has their weaknesses, and some people get really nervous when it comes to business meetings, conferences, presentations, especially presentation. So, we have to create that environment or have a role play like situation, a scenario where people would be addressing some concerns in their workplace communications. It's all about being polite, being diplomatic, like you rightly said, and having hold on some business jargons as well. That will definitely help us. For example, there are not many phrasal verbs like circle back, to table this topic. There are so many phrasal verbs, and if you can acquire and have a grip on these phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions, then yeah, your business English can be a little impactful if you are conveying it correctly.
Yes, exactly. So just take sessions. When you come in the session, have this optimism in mind. Your teacher is going to tailor every step and help you understand what are your weaknesses, how can we overcome the challenges and improve our everyday conversation. Coming back to the point, as we were discussing the business related idioms, I think your eye should be on our business idioms so that you can act smart and you can be really good when it comes to your workspace. So, what are some of the idioms? If you could give me a quick recap, Mr. Preetham, what we have discussed so far when it comes to business English for our working
Well, you've
professionals?
already covered to go the extra mile, which a lot of our learners have come up with relevant examples, correct examples, sentences to go the extra mile. And I have another one, to cut to the chase. It's very useful in terms of your business communication.
Okay. Oh, we
Yeah,
already have a lot here. Muskan says touch the base.
touch base. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would
I
not be the
touch
base;
the
it would
base,
simply be
touch
touch base.
the base.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, all right. Yes, you have given them a question. They have to guess the idiom, is it?
Yeah. Cut to the chase. What does it mean?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We have already put it in the chat section. You just have to guess the idiom, cut to the chase. It's also for working professionals. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
as they are writing down the answer to this,
Uh,
I want to know from you when it comes to idioms, especially at workplace, what are some of your favorite idioms that you use and which are safe?
Okay, okay, all right. So one I always use is to hit the ground running, which I used right before we started our session, to hit the ground running, to start something right away and to get started with your work. And we have another one, which is to get the ball rolling. Both of them have similar meanings, to get the ball rolling.
Can you
What
also
about you?
give us sentence? Can you give a
Okay, all right.
sentence with this?
Well, every time when a learner joins my session and I ask their specific requirement for the session, so I could just tell them that okay, so we should just get the ball rolling. We should just get started with our session. So in
Mm-hmm.
that way, I use this idiom, and I make sure I don't use this idiom several times. Like I said, we shouldn't overuse a particular idiom. You need to have some alternative. So one alternative would be to hit the ground running, and you can switch accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's head start. Let's get it started. Let's keep the ball rolling. Other ways of expressing one single thing. Otherwise, you'll keep on using it, and overuse of everything is not good.
Mhm.
Okay, and to my utter surprise, I can see the chat rolling super fast. They have answered it. So here we have Muskan saying our company is going to cut corners on the project. I think our question was cut to chase. Okay,
Mhm.
Shalini says cut to chase means to solve something. Okay. Learn English with Rakesh has used one idiom. I think you would like to address it for sure. Don't beat around
Don't
the
beat
bush, cut
around.
to the chase.
Yes, same. It has
Uh-huh.
similar meanings. Don't beat around the bush, cut to the chase. So these all
Promotes
have
sales.
some similar
Yeah,
meanings. Yeah,
get it to the
Muskan,
point.
uh
Yeah.
Muskan has come up with the right meaning. Be short and come to the point. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, exactly. I think movie 5 says to make a mountain out of a mole. Okay, he's saying
Uh,
another idiom. We'll come to that for sure. Khaja is
mhm,
saying to get to the point without any exaggeration. Okay.
mhm.
Uh-huh.
And there's
All
this
right.
idiom. Shalini says, "Hit the nail on the head" is apparently one of my favorite idioms as well, and you can use it in your business communication as well, right? When you know that someone has been exact or correctly pointed out the problem, then yeah, we can say, "Oh, you have hit the nail right on the head."
Mm-hmm.
How do you use any other business English idiom? What are some of
When
your favorites, Shruti? Yeah.
Okay, when it comes to idioms, I think, as I said, I love using it. And especially in business meetings, you can for sure use it without giving a second thought. You have already given some of them. So, cut to chase is one, then keep the ball rolling. To go extra mile is again, it's something which you can definitely use in your business meetings.
Mhm.
One of mine is to keep an eye on. It's an idiom which most of the people are aware of. They use it, but they're not aware that it's an idiom too, right?
Mhm.
To keep
Yeah.
an eye on is nothing but to have a check on or to be cautious about something. Let's suppose my boss says that, Shruti, you need to be careful with the project or you need to check everything when it comes to this project. So I can always reply that for sure, sir, I'll keep an eye on it. Means I'll keep
Mhm.
a check of everything, all the nuances. I'll just be mindful of. That's something which I can use. One more, if I can think of, is to put the best foot forward,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yes.
right?
Mhm. Should we let our audience guess what this idiom means?
Meanwhile, as you said, hit the nail on the head. We have one
Mhm.
answer from Muskan. She says English Yaari is hitting the nail on the head.
Okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
Keep the ball rolling
Next.
means keep the ball rolling till the idiom session end. Okay, all right. He Kaja
Mhm.
has been very innovative with his examples.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, all right. That's amazing. Okay, coming
Mhm.
on to the point. So far, what we have covered, it's time for us to give a big wrap up. We have been giving a lot of idioms lately to them, and it's time for us
Uh-huh.
to give a quick recap to them so that after the session, they have a lot to just absorb. I think it has been a heavy session for them, isn't it?
Uh, Yeah, I think so. I think most of our learners will be able to come, maybe make use of at least 10 to 15 idioms, if not 30. But yeah, so the whole idea is to be able to use idioms judiciously and not overuse all of them. You have to avoid common
Exactly.
mistakes. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so we started our session with a note that what are some of the essential idioms which everyone must know, where we covered break a leg to wish someone good luck, bite a bullet, then cost an
Mhm.
arm and a leg, which is expensive. Same goes with the idiom cost a fortune, which means very expensive. Hit the nail right on head is nothing but when you got the way out or you can decode something quickly. Spill the
Mhm.
beans, when you just reveal out a secret. Jump on the bandwagon, which actually means when you just try to jump onto the trend which is in latest on, right? If I'm missing any out, Mr. Preetham, you have to help me up with it because I think we have discussed so many today, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I think we talked about idioms related to emotions like anger, surprise, confusion, happy.
Yeah.
Sadness, I think we missed out on sadness. But I have one to just maybe let the audience know is to have a heavy heart, right? When you have a
Mhm.
heavy heart, then you are particularly sad about something, right? And
Yes, and in
wrap up,
case
yeah.
learners, I am missing out on idiom, you have to remind me that, hey, ma'am, you also
Uh-huh,
discussed this one. Let's see if they were
uh-huh,
active. Yeah, as Mr. Preetham says, we then covered on idioms related to emotions,
uh-huh,
to have a spring in the steps. I hope you'll never forget it now. So whenever you're super
mhm,
excited for something, you're super happy, then we can use it, having spring in the steps. Then
uh-huh.
for anger or frustration, we used, hit the roof
Leave the
or
roof.
maybe lose one's control,
Uh-huh,
right? Then for surprise, we used one idiom. We told them jaw-dropping experience, right?
uh-huh, uh-huh, yeah.
Yes. Then
And
we had a
we were, yeah, we covered some business related idioms, business
Oh,
idioms.
yes. Now I want you to give a recap of what are the business idiom related idioms we have discussed so far.
Okay, we covered this cut to the chase, which means to just cut the crap and just get to the point, which also means to stop beating around the bush. And
Mm-hmm.
another one is to put your best foot forward, which means to have a great start to anything. It can be a new business, it can be a new project, anything. You have to put your best foot forward, right? What
Yes,
else did
exactly.
we cover?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of, and rest our learners can definitely see. This session is
Mhm,
going to be up there on our YouTube handle, so you can check
mhm.
it out. These are some of the things that, oh, Nalini says we are feeling blue that this session is going to end. So sweet, Nalini.
Yeah, that is apparently one idiom related to sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep the ball rolling. Yes, we also covered keep the ball rolling.
Keep the ball rolling. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. We have covered. Building castle in the air, Khaja, is a question. What do you have to say about this?
Something when we plan on something, for example, okay, when we intend to do something that is not realistic at all, okay, maybe is not practical, then we often use this idiom to build castles in the air. Stop building castles in the air.
Especially in childhood, we used to do this, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow I want to be an astronaut. You're just making castle in the air. It's not so
Uh-huh.
easy to be an astronaut, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, I dumped off. I'm having a heavy heart as the session is going to end. They're using the idioms at right context these days.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right, now
Down
it's
in the
time for
dumps
us to wrap
is
up the
okay, okay, all right. Pranjana says down in the dumps is also one of my favorite idioms,
session.
and it also means to be sad. Okay,
Yeah,
all
we
right.
have to
So
call it a day
over to you.
now.
Okay, okay,
Right.
definitely.
Before
Uh-huh.
that, as we always do, we have some of the takeaways from the sessions we have already given, and it's time for us to announce the winner of today's live. So, you all were exceptionally well. The only thing is, I want you to share this love on by clicking on the subscribe button. Consider subscribing. We are planning so many different things for you, different courses where you can master English with us. So consider subscribing. And here comes the winner list. We are going to give three, free sessions to our learners. Let's see, Mr. Preetham, who can win it out. So I will say the first one. Let's see, you can give another learners, right? One after the other, we'll give the shout out.
Okay, okay.
According to me, our first winner for this live session is going to be none other than Nalini. She amazed me with her beautiful questions and amazing ideas.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah.
Now, one has
So
to be from your
Nalini
end.
completely deserves it. Okay, I think Muskan is going to be the second winner because she has been coming up with apt examples and meanings and very much engaged in the. She has been engaged in the whole live session as well. So yeah, she definitely deserves go.
Okay, and third, I would like to give to none other than Miss Neha Rana. She has been with EnglishYaari for a really long time, and the
Mhm,
moment she answers, she's up there on her toes to use good idioms. So, congratulations, Miss Neha Rana. The session is all yours.
mhm, mhm. All right.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm,
meanwhile, to all those who could not make out, see, there's always another chance. And as we said, every cloud has silver lining. You should pat yourself. You took this session for an hour now, and you learned so many new idioms. And of course, these are going to be beneficial for all of you. All right, Mr. Preetham?
definitely. You just have to make sure that you just don't grasp it, but make sure that you revise it at the same time because anything that you do without regularity or consistency is better than it's something that will not help you in the long run. So it's better you keep
Hmm.
on revising idioms, expressions, phrases, and put it in use. Have conversations with people as much as you can. So that is the
Yes.
best way to retain information. Yeah.
Okay, now I think idioms are going to be super easy for all of you. So feel free to use these idioms, be it a working group space, be it in your daily conversation. Nail it up, dear learners. And with this hope, we'll be coming up with our next session next Sunday, probably. Here is a small thing. We are also planning to come up with different courses in everyday live session where we'll cover some of the important topics. So once this video is up there on YouTube, feel free to put down the comment section what should be the topic for our courses up for you, and it's going to be free of cost. All right. So
Um,
before we wrap up, Mr. Preetham, is there anything that you want to mention to our learners?
well, I'm just losing my words over here, but everybody has been really great over here in the comment section, which is what I can see. A lot of people have been really engaging with us, and I wish them all the best for their future endeavors and their language learning journey. We have to take into consideration that this is not a short-term journey; it's something that goes on lifelong. We as learners and trainers, we are also constantly refining our English and getting better in our every step. So this would be my message, that you have to keep on going on and not get discouraged in the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Preetham, for joining us. And to all those, we have amazing tutors like Mr. Preetham Pradhan on our session, on our dashboard. All you just have to do is enroll yourself at EnglishYaari and get to have this language ahead with teachers like Mr. Preetham. And we'll see you in the session. Thank you so much, everybody. And we are just signing off.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shruti, for having me once again. I wish everybody a wonderful evening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have a great day. Bye.
Bye bye.